The crimson suns of Zorath sank low, painting the dunes in hues of blood and fire, the desert stretching like a scarred canvas beneath a sky that mocked its fragility. Elias Varn stepped from the shuttle, the hot sand crunching under his boots, the air thick with Aether's metallic tang. Kael followed, his cybernetic arm flickering erratically after the Volthor Citadel's overload. They'd struck a blow against House Kirin, but Zorath felt less like home and more like a battlefield waiting to erupt.
You blew up the Citadel, Elias,
she said, voice a mix of pride and rage.
The houses are baying for blood. Those visions. They're eating you alive, aren't they?
Elias nodded, the ether vial in his pocket pulsing like a second heart. Since the Citadel, his visions had sharpened. Zorath burning, Kael's arm sparking out in death, himself on a throne of bones. Kael, ever the firebrand, grinned despite his weariness.
We gutted their heart mirror. Zorath's got breathing room.
That night, around a fire pit under stars that seemed to whisper betrayal, the Zoran celebrated with drums and tales of Duke Thalion, Elias's father, who'd united the tribes before Vordas's treachery. Elias sipped ether wine, its burn mirroring his inner turmoil. The voice of persuasion, his psychic gift, felt like a noose, each use chipped at his soul. Alone later, he knelt in the dunes, spilling a drop of ether into the sand. The vision hit hard, flames devouring Zorath, Kael's body broken. Elias crowned in blood. He shuddered, the weight of destiny crushing. Kael found him, his shadow long in the moonlight.
Visions again?
He asked, voice soft but steady.
Don't let 'em win, brother. We're the spark in this darkness.
Elias gripped the vial, Kael's words a lifeline.
I'm trying.
Mira's scouts reported Vorda's ships probing the skies, and Elias knew the storm was closing in. Dawn broke with alarms tearing through the outpost. Vorda's interceptors, sleek and deadly, dropped probes to map Zorath's ether veins. Elias led a speeder charge into a crimson valley, his energy sword igniting in a blue arc.
Stand down!
He roared, the voice rippling out, freezing some troopers mid-step. But others, shielded by psychic dampeners, pressed forward, their lasers scorching the air. Kael was a blur beside him, his cybernetic arm deflecting blasts, pistol-cracking armor.
These bastards hit harder than Kirin's goons, he shouted, ducking shrapnel. The skirmish was brutal, sand turning to glass under plasma fire, but they drove the scouts back.
Back at camp, doubt gnawed at Elias as he reflected on the fray. The betrayal he sensed wasn't from a single soul, but from the galaxy's cruel twists, echoing his fear of becoming the tyrant in his visions. By the fire, Kael shared the flask.
You did right leading that charge. Not everyone's built for this fight, but we are.
Elias clung to that, but the shadows grew longer. Mira approached, her expression grim.
Those probes mean Drovin's closing in. We can't afford weakness now.
Elias nodded, his heart twisted, by the visions of loss, but he pushed forward, knowing mercy for the Zoran had to come from strength. The Citadel's fall sent shock waves through the galaxy, sparking rebellions on distant worlds. Elias and Kael ventured to Epsilon Station, a ramshackle hub orbiting a gas giant, home to smugglers and exiles. There, they scavenged parts to bolster their fleet. Kael's ingenuity transforming scrap into boosters that could outrun house ships.
We'll make 'em fly like comets.
Elias's voice carried hope, not coercion, as he rallied the outcasts.
A galaxy where no one kneels.
Back on Zorath, scouts reported a Vortis armada massing, led by Lord Draven himself. Elias's visions warned of a siege that could end everything. Mira wounded, Kael falling. In the command tent, Mira pushed for defense, using the dune's natural cover. Kael argued for a preemptive strike.
Hit 'em like the Citadel, hard and fast.
Elias chose strategy over bravado.
We draw them in, bleed them in the sand.
Vortis ships blotted Zorath's suns, troops descending like a plague. Elias stood on a dune, sword raised, the voice a thunderclap.
For Zorath, for the stars.
The battle erupted. Lasers carved the sand, speeders exploded in fireballs. Kael piloted a fighter, his arm interfacing for deadly precision, dodging missiles with a roguish grin.
Eat this!
Elias fought on the ground, the voice disorienting enemies, his blade a blur. He saved Mira from a sniper, a graze burning his arm. Kael's scavenged boosters gave their ships an edge, outmaneuvering Vortis's fleet. Boarding Draven's flagship, Elias faced the lord who killed his father.
You'll fall like Thalion.
Draven sneered. Elias's voice shattered his psychic shields, and a final slash ended him. But Kael took a hit, his arm sparking out. The armada retreated, Zorath held, but Kael lay weak in the aftermath.
You're not dying.
Elias growled, eyes burning. Kael coughed a grin.
Told you, we'd burn.
Victory sparked uprisings galaxy-wide, but Elias knew darker paths loomed. With Mira's resolve and Kael's spirit, hope flickered. The stars were rising, and they were the flame.